Good morning. Good morning. Lazy. Les bon ton roulette. Let me say it one more time. Lazy. Les bon ton roulette. Yeah, let's let the good times roll, y'all. You know what weekend it is. It's Mardi Gras weekend. And it's going down. If you're in the state of Louisiana, it's going down just like this, y'all. We're going to do what we want to. So we're going to be all on the corner. Let's get it. Good morning. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. Ah, yeah. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building. One of the BLK, the Black Station. Throw me something, mister. I said throw me something, mister. It's another, it's a Friday. Freedom and Fun Friday. And in Louisiana, it's a lot of fun going on right now. I can't show y'all the fun going on, but I can show you this. Yours truly in the building. Joe Dupree, along with my man, Brother Fatigue. Hey, we in here.
We in here. We in here, baby.
Don't me something.
We in here. It's birthday weekend. Monday is the birthday. I'll be 25. Hot damn, I'm legal.
Wait a minute. You see how I get it? It's somebody's birthday Monday. It's somebody's birthday Monday. I don't know who the guy is, but it's somebody's birthday on Monday. Speaking about birthdays, celebrations, anniversaries, all that, your birthday.
We just lost the volume. We just lost you, Joe. Can't hear you, Joe. So I know people can hear me. I know people can hear me right now. Joe gonna have to work on this technical part because your mic is muted, Joe. That's what's happening. Your mic is muted, Joe. Unmute your mic, Joe. Let's see, Joe can unmute his mic because I can't unmute it. How y'all doing this morning? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I don't have the music on, but I just want to tell folks that we are on here, and it is Friday. And Joe, we trying to get Joe sound here together. I wish I had some of that background music, but Joe, your mic is muted, and we don't hear the music. There we go.
I'm back.
There we go. You're back.
I'm back. You know we got to do stuff. We got to get it back right and all that good stuff. Hold on. I got stuff going on all over the place. That little power.
Oh, there you go again. It's something with Joe's power. I keep going. It goes. That's what happens. Is makes that sound and it drops out. Good morning, Sister Shauna. I see you out there. And again, Joe said, hold on for a minute. Good morning, folks. Let me see if I can pull. Let me mute my mic.
back. We're back. We're back. Yes, it's another episode of hashtag Truth Be Told. And truth be told, things can go crazy in the studio. We had a power surge, everything. But thank you for everybody who's still logged in. Share this with a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building, 100 BLK, the Black Station. Not only am I in the building, my good friend Fatim Muhammad is in the building as we get ready to celebrate his birthday weekend. It's going to be coming up on Monday, London birthday. We will be celebrating, of course, in the great state of Louisiana. All you hear on every street corner is Mardi Gras music. And rolling, picture her rolling. Please picture her rolling. It's our girl Jax. She's in the building. Miss Jax is in the building, and you can see picture.
Hey, y'all.
Good Mountain. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Girl,
Doing
after
great.
after a few crazy Mardi Gras mishaps, we doing just fine. Throw me something, mister. Somebody must have threw something at the electricity because everything went crazy.
That's right. I heard it goes good.
Yeah, it did it twice. And I just got out of my car. So we out there, you rolling, Jax. I just got out of my car. You know, I've been out since 7 Eastern, so that's 6 Central Time this morning. You know, so we out there taking care of business, and that's what it's about.
That's what we do.
Because that's what we do. It's 13 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. Freedom and Fun Friday. He that the sun sets free is free indeed. So today, whatever shackles are holding you down, shake them shackles off your feet. It is Mardi Gras weekend. Oh yeah, I'm getting everybody in here. I'm getting everybody in their mama in this. Hold on. Is that Miss Shauna Sayers? Hold on. Is that the conduit? Is the conduit on? Where you at, conduit? Are you here? Are you not here?
Good morning.
Good morning. Come on in the room.
Can we hear me?
Come
on in the room.
Mardi Gras season.
I said, come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he'll write out all of my scripture, and he'll give me all of my medicine in the room. Hey!
Okay, Shauna.
I was beginning to feel left out. Y'all was on there talking to each other and didn't say nothing about me.
Oh, Shauna. What's up, boo?
Morning, Sister Jax, Brother
Good
Fatim.
morning.
Brother Fatim, you're going to have to let me give you a birthday song. But today is would have been my birth mother's birthday. Nina Faye Hopkins Bush from a little town called Happy, Texas. Population 900 and something, that includes the people in the graveyard.
So it's one of them towns the speed limit gets down to 25 or 35, and by the time you yawn, you pass the whole town. I got it.
That's not even long enough, Shad. Don't blank at all. But I did go one time because I've never met my birth mother. My birth mother was a Caucasian female, and she was told by her grandmother, Fern Thorntonberry, that they wasn't gonna have no race mixing. So she was instructed to go and have an abortion. But you know, I'm hard-headed, so my mama was obviously hard-headed. So she headed on down to Catholic Social Services over yonder in Lafayette, Louisiana. They used to have little houses in the back where they would, let them give birth and whatnot. Well, here I come, and we can get a little further if I got a little time. In 75, the black churches, namely Holy Ghost Catholic Church, amen?
Amen.
There was a big push to go and make adoptions. It was a big old push to go and adopt black babies. So here I is, and them good Christians, hallelujah, glory, them good Christians and things. But, happy birthday to my mom. Thank you for being hard-headed and disobeying your parents. And giving birth to someone who not only speaks for African Americans, of which I am, but also let white folks know that not all white folk bad, but y'all need to get it together.
Okay. So if you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, today is your special day. We ringing the bell. 17 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. And yes, it is Mardi Gras weekend in the state of Louisiana for all these folk, and they all over the place. All these folk that came down from all over the world. Listen, y'all, don't think y'all can just do anything and get away with it this weekend.
Please don't. Please don't.
No Monday, nor on Fat Tuesday. Because I'm here to let you know, you will go to jail. They won't ask no questions. You will go to jail. I'm just saying, there's parade.
Let me give them some little tips.
Give me some tips.
If you're coming in from certain areas, I'm gonna need for y'all to know where you're speeding at. Stay out of Crotch Spring, stay out of Port Barry, stay out of Opelousas, stay out of Karen Crow speeding. Go to them people limits.
Well, let me be
they're gonna hand out invitations to return to the parish. They're gonna give you an invitation.
Let me be very honest with you, Shauna, since you're the only real true Louisianian on this line. Most folk can't even pronounce them names. When I first got here, I was like, what the name? Let me give you a prime example just to give you a laughing joke. You know, where I come from, Lafayette is pronounced Lafayette. So if you tell a person I'm going to Lafayette Street, they'll look at you and like, where the hell is Lafayette Street? Lafayette is pronounced Lafayette. Where I come from, Richard is pronounced Richard. I never heard of Richard. I heard of Richard, King Richard. I never heard of King Richard. I heard of King Richard.
Well, it's only Richard with the last name.
Okay, so all I'm saying is, I understand I live in the universe, the world of Louisiana, which literally thinks the whole world revolves around this state. Because while everybody else talking Super Bowl, they're like, we give less than a damn about a Super Bowl. We down here saying, throw me something, mister.
Well, I'm going to tell people this year, don't throw me no beads. I'm going to need y'all to throw me some Cash App, some Venmo, some PayPal, some dollars. Don't throw me no quarters because they're at a certain altitude that could hurt me. So that's what I need y'all to do. Don't keep your beads. I don't want that.
Yeah. All right. It is Super Bowl weekend. Man, this is a big weekend. It's Mardi Gras weekend, Super Bowl weekend. The teams.
Who won the Super Bowl again?
We're gonna talk about that.
The Cowboys.
Hold on.
Coming for you, Patine.
Hold your mule. It's the team's birthday weekend. Hold on. What else is going on? There's some other. I know what's going on. So y'all just hold tight. This is going on and it is Valentine's weekend. So it's actually the weekend before Valentine's Day.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is. Valentine's Day is on the 14th. So
Wednesday in the middle of the week.
Wait. That means this is the weekend before Valentine's Day, because most people celebrate the weekend before, not the weekend after. Now, if you get celebrated the weekend after, you might be somebody's
all right.
side piece or
jump off.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 damn minute. Let's call it what it is. If Christmas is in the middle of the week and you celebrate Christmas like the weekend before Christmas, if you get celebrated after Christmas, you might be the second family, the side family.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Jax, let me tell you something.
When I was married
to husband number 2, right? Because we gotta put them in order. Husband number 2. I'm not a flower person. I actually hate flowers. I despise them because they die and they fall on my counter and I gotta clean that up and all that. So I would tell him literally, hey, look, don't waste your money on Valentine's Day, Shaq. 15th, there's 50% off, and on the 16th, it's 75% off. We can wait, boo. I've never done Valentine's Day. Never. It's cheaper the next day.
Yeah. I want to the birthday guy. I gotta jump in. I gotta jump in here. I gotta jump in here because I've been sitting back.
Come on.
But Shauna said something that again we don't have to discuss today because I don't know what Joe got lined up. but I really want to have a discussion on this. Shauna mentioned about her mother and Happy, Texas, being born in Happy, Texas. She mentioned that she's a white woman. I want to talk about this ism amongst us with this light skin, dark skin thing. And we don't talk about it, but we need to talk about it because I remember when I was walking around in New York, in Brooklyn, me and my cousin was walking around the park and I was talking about, some of the young ladies I talked to at that particular time. I was going out with a specific young lady. So my cousin turned to me and he said, "You notice all the women you go out with are light-skinned women." So I had to pause. I said, damn, he is right. And I had to think, was that a complex? Because I'm not putting down any group. Don't let me start here. But I haven't dated a white woman. I've seen attractive white women. I don't date. I believe in my culture. But I ask myself, why do I tend to look at light-skinned women? Wait, let me finish. Why do I tend to look at light-skinned women? Where did this come from? Is it from television? Where does this come from? Then I thought back to second grade, how it goes back to the art. I remember the Archies, dark skin and light skin hair. It was the dark hair and the blonde hair. And I remember in second grade, there was a dark skinned girl and a light skinned girl, and I had a crush on both. And I was leaning to the light skinned woman. And then I had to think about it, and I finally came up with it. I said, you know what? My father's father, my grandfather, was dark skinned. His wife, my grandmother, was light skinned. My father, dark skinned. My mother, light skinned. So that's where I started to say, that's where it has come from. But I've also seen out here, even in the medical field, that I've seen dark-skinned folks come in with an illness, and I've seen light-skinned folks come in with the same illness, and I've seen doctors and nurses and medical professionals treat them differently, and we try to figure out why. And I'm telling you, it's a complex out here that we don't deal with. It's among other folks that look at us, but amongst us, it's a big issue, but we don't talk about it.
Wow. I need to bring this, the beautiful light-skinned sister that is not holding. Now, I have seen lighter skinned sisters, but let me bring in Sister Jax. Sister Jax, come on, you got to speak on this. Unmute your mic and let's speak on this. Let's speak on it.
Well, if y'all can't tell, I'm not really light skinned. You see these freckles here? I'm actually brown skinned, but I'm just trapped in a light skinned body. But
the freckles are just not that close together. That's the problem.
They're not that close together, but once they connect, I'm gonna be all the way brown skinned. But yeah, it's unfortunate that we do have this ism going on, but we know that it dates all the way back to slavery. But it's funny because many times you end up seeing light skinned brothers and sisters with the brown skin brother and sister. They typically don't. It's not you usually don't see two light brights together at the same time. But to each his own.
See two light brights together. Right.
That's right. One got to be the sun, one got to be the moon, right?
Right.
That's right. So I mean, to each his own. It's unfortunate that we still are judged like that. I know, growing up, I was always judged like that. But then you'll also find a lot of light-skinned brothers and or sisters are super duper pro-black. So I think we try to really connect with our roots. And sometimes in some cases, some people might try to overcompensate, but they still just love their culture and their history and who they are. And they don't want the light-skinnedness to have people perceive them in a different light. I'm light-skinned. It is what it is. I would love a little bit more melanin. I'm one of those light-skinned sisters that loves the beach. I love it when I get a little more goldeny. I'm trying to get brown skin, but it hasn't happened yet. But one day.
It is what it is. And in the part of Louisiana that I live in, what people say about that is that they call it Creole here. So and Creole, a lot of folks try to associate that with the hue of the skin and you being lighter. But you can be dark skinned in Creole. Creole, I tell people Creole isn't a color of your skin, but it is actually a culture. So let me see, do I still have Shauna on here? Shauna, you still here?
Yeah, because I was about to say, Darky. Can I say something?
Damn, come on in the room.
Sister Jax is absolutely correct. I have 3 kids and I got 3 different shades of children. My son wears my face, right? And then my youngest is about the same color as Brother Joe, okay? And I can attest to the fact that I didn't ask for that white mother that I had to go be involved with my black father in 1975. Just like I'm certain my light-skinned grandmother didn't ask to be raped by her slave master back on the plantation. So the colorism came because the dark ones was always put outside and the bright skins was, quote, and I gotta quote it, the house niggers. They were the house niggers. That's how they referred to them. We didn't ask for that, you know, and when I grew up, I was always teased, and I'm still presently teased about being, quote, bright skinned with good hair. What's good about not being able to do nothing with my hair when the wind blow it's gone out of its style? What is, you know, fun about using white rain hairspray because that's the only one that'll hold my hair, because pump it up gonna make it fall out. We didn't ask for any of those things. And then when Sister Jack said that sometimes we try to, quote, overcompensate and be pro-black, is because we're not even looked at sometimes by our own black community as, quote, really black. Well, what the hell is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
To
you know,
me,
some don't want
I
to be.
got it double. I have it triple hard. I'm a sister who knows she a sister. I'm a sister who is half Caucasian because of the choices of her mother, and then I'm a woman. Man,
I mean, you brought up about the good and bad hair, and that was brought up in Spike Lee's School Days. You know, and sometimes, how do we define good and bad hair? You know, I got to bring Jax back in on this. You know, to me, you know, I believe that the woolly hair is beautiful. You know, so how do we define good and bad hair? You know, some folks say, well, my hair isn't like the projection that is put out there on social media or on TV, if it's not long and stringy. And no, I think natural hair is beautiful. I think natural hair to me is more beautiful than
can I
the
say
straight
something
hair.
before I forget?
Wait. Go ahead, because I can break this
I just
down
wanna-
because I can. Go ahead, Sean.
I just want to say it before I forget. It's not, and I'm speaking specifically on the social media era, it's not what's projected. It's what you go looking for.
Okay.
Now go ahead, Brother Fatin.
Yeah, so one of the things is that if you break down the hair, what is good hair is that nappy, because it has the strong nutrients in it. Just like Jax talked about that melanin in our skin. Remember, black folks can't come from white folks, but white folks can come from black folks. Our melanin is that strength there. So you can get what is considered what is real good quality hair is that wool, that kink, that type of hair that curls up. That is that good type hair. That stringy hair is not considered when it comes down to minerals, the richness and the minerals in the hair. But in society, who's putting out these images, they want to put down that long, that more manageable kind of hair is that good type hair. But see, this is the issue. Why is it that some black people, want to run to become white? They use bleach, bleachers, the skin creams to make themselves lighter, while some white women are injecting their lips, their butts to look naturally like black women. So there is an ism. I was talking to somebody that lived in Panama. He's dark skinned. The young lady in my building was light skinned. So you have this class thing. And then I watched my mother, who was light skinned, that she talked about a badge of honor. Well, I work for white people. I was able to do that. She was able to move amongst white people better than her sister, which was my aunt, because my aunt was darker skinned. So we do have these isms here, and sometimes we pick them because we do want to get closer to something that was taboo, or we don't want to associate with ourselves. I'm telling you, we got a lot of self-hatred amongst us as a people.
And Brother Fatin, you mentioned the healthcare. As you know, I'm a nurse, and am a nurse, and I always delved into everything. I didn't just study the material that they gave me. I wanted to know all of it because I already knew that they don't care for us the way that they care for others. And when I get my patients and I have the opportunity to educate them, I tell them from jump, you have to treat darker skin or African Americans different from Caucasian patients because our makeup is different. Our kidney function is different. The reason why some of them are darker is because the melanocytes that produces the melanin is different. We are a people that is just a phenomenon, a medical phenomenon to me. And I've lost many jobs because I believe in educating African Americans about their bodies. So when they go to the doctors, anticipate, especially if you don't have a black doctor, anticipate being mistreated, anticipate getting less care for pain because they think your tolerance is higher, anticipate getting different medications. You have to anticipate all of these things. So when you get a nurse like myself that educates you on what you should know, they get angry. And oftentimes now, people also have to understand a practice is a business. They don't have to see you. They don't have to see you. A private practice has a right to refuse a patient.
There you go. So
and they do it a lot.
Well, we're gonna deep dive into all of that. We're gonna take a pause for the cause. Sister Jackson's rolling. Picture. I should have played some Tupac. Picture me rolling. But what I have on the screen now is something that Fatima and I talked about last night. Fatima has been talking about this for months. I have also, but I haven't been on. But this podcast is only in its second week, so we do want to let you know there are things to do, and we want to educate you. Let me educate you that there are some great movies out there. And one of the movies I think that's going to be wonderful is this Bob Marley movie. And so we're going to show the trailer. We're going to dive into a little conversation. Yeah, man. We're going to show the trailer and we're going to dive into some conversation. That part. Yeah.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption song.
When you write that?
All my life.
Are you ready for Bob Marley and the Wailers?
Don't let them fool you.
It's a hit.
Oh, no.
Reggae is the people music.
You know you're a superstar.
I am a superstar. You can't separate the music and the message. You see, reggae music comes to unify the people.
Not everyone likes what you're saying. For your own safety, you need to stop.
On December 3rd, 1976, would-be assassins invaded Bob Marley's home and attempted to take the life of the singer, his wife, and...
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that thing. That every little thing gonna be alright. You like that one?
Yeah.
There's a war going on. Oh, I can't bring peace. I can't even get peace for myself.
Rise up this morning. Smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds. It's by my doorstep.
Sometimes
Singing.
the messenger has to become the message.
Bob, I know it's dangerous, but you're the only one who can unite the people.
You ready, Bob?
No guns can stop this message. I want the world to change. And that time is now.
This is my message to you.
Bob Marley, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing gonna be all right. I'm just saying, every little thing gonna be all right. Listen, One Love, that movie gonna be off the chain. That movie gonna be off the chain. For team, talk to me, brother.
Folks, let me just say this, because one of the things for me growing up in Brooklyn, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, I was born in a mixed neighborhood. And then in the late 70s, we would see more of the immigrant population move into our communities. And we had, matter of fact, I lived amongst some folks that were from Trinidad, but then folks from Jamaica would come in, and the Jamaicans was brought in that Rastafarian thing, something that I was not known about. And I remember hearing that music, the Jamaican music, and hearing Bob Marley, because Bob Marley music crossed over into some of the R&B stations in New York City. And I remember somebody pulling me to the side, because now I'm joining the movement, you know, fighting for justice in the city of New York. And somebody from Jamaica pulled me to the side and said, "You playing Bob Marley, but do you know who Bob Marley is?" So I just want to say this to a couple of people real quick. Bob Marley, the legendary Jamaican musician and songwriter, is often hailed as a revolutionary figure, not just for his groundbreaking music, but also for his profound impact on social and political issues. He was born February 6th in 1945. Bob Marley rose to fame in the 1970s as the frontman for the reggae band Bob Marley and the Wailers. His music, deeply rooted in the Rastafarian movement, was infused spiritual, political, and social themes. And that's why he was considered a revolutionary, because he loved music, but he put out music that had a message that would nourish your mind, and not only from nourishing your mind, motivate you and inspire you to fight and stand up and make a change, as well as love one another. That's why Bob Marley is so profound. And another person that was uplifting our people died at a young age. They said he died of some type of brain tumor or whatever. Some people said the government got to him. I don't deal with conspiracies, but again, here is another one of our soldiers, warriors, cut down at a young age, but he left a legacy through his music and his activism.
Jax, what did Bob Marley and his music mean to you?
You know, it's so funny. Growing up, we didn't hear Bob Marley, you know, in my home. My mom, she more so listened to like Aaron Neville and actually like opera and other music that I didn't really listen to. Whereas when I would go to my dad's house, he was more into like the stylistics, the Temptations, all that, you know, Motown, old school stuff, right? When I was away at school, though, in high school, a lot of the white kids actually listened to Bob Marley. But during that time in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was away, the black kids, we were into dance hall. So we were into, you know, Buju Banton, you know, Beanie Man, like
Buju Banton.
yes, boy, fire. Like we were into dance hall. So I didn't really appreciate or understand Bob Marley much then. But the white people that I was around, they always listened to it. But you know, the black kids, we didn't really listen to it. I didn't learn to really appreciate Bob Marley and what he's done for the culture, and his music until I was an adult. So I actually can't wait to, you know, see the film, because now as an adult, I sing all the songs, I know the lyrics, and I really understand. And I always fought for the movement, even as a kid, but I never understood really Bob Marley's music, because I didn't really feel like that was really our, you know, style. We were into dance hall, but I appreciate it much more, and I cannot wait to see it. And I appreciate Bob Marley for all he's done.
So since she brought it up, I got to do this. I just got to do this. This was my Buju Banton song. I just say it.
Okay.
up to this non-stop turn and twist.
This was my Buju
God
Banton
of His
song.
mercy. What's on the done McGuan? Here, Buju Banton. Me all walk like a champion, talk like
See?
a champion. What a
Oh,
piece of money, girl. Tell me where you get it from. Knock on your entrance. Ram,
I
pam,
would
pam,
dance, but the cops are next to
let
me.
me in me and
Oh,
me
Lord.
Talk like a champion, talk like a
Hey,
champion.
dance hall, Buju Banton. Then you had, you know, the reggae movement. For those of us who knew reggae, the Iki Mouses, the Yellamans. You know, a lot of folks didn't get into reggae, but they got into
Jimmy
the dance hall.
Cliff.
Right?
Jimmy
Yeah.
Cliff.
Come on, hold it.
Jimmy
Sister
Cliff
Nancy,
that played with Bob Marley.
right? Sister Nancy. Sister,
Mm.
most folks really started getting into the reggae style music with the movie Belly, with Sister Nancy. Let's just call it what it is. Sister Nancy and that movie Belly introduced a lot of folks to Jamaica and the reggae style, the Peter Toshes, the Burning Spears. We could go
Yes.
on and on and on because there's some real reggae here. If you a reggae head, put your people in the feed. I'm just saying. I got to play some
Bloop,
Sister
bloop, bloop.
Nancy too. Yeah, bloop, bloop,
Yeah,
bloop.
and so and
Yeah.
then soca music. But
Yeah, this is Booyaka.
yeah, but I think Shauna was trying. I think Shauna was trying to get in because she just put Peter Tosh in the chat.
Yeah. She had to step off the phone.
Oh, she did. Okay,
Yeah,
so again, what Jack said, just like what you have said when you talk about what's going on with Mardi Gras and the kind of music down there, Joe. For us, it was a revolution in New York, especially in the borough of Brooklyn, because I was in Flatbush, but East Flatbush, it was more of the Caribbean sound. So when there was block parties or you go to people's homes, we would hear this music. You understand? And one of the things I was telling my kids is that they're from a different era. So when they hear this music, they gravitate because a lot of their friends are from the Caribbean islands, but they don't gravitate to the R&B that is created here amongst us as a whole. And I told my children, never lose your identity. There's nothing wrong to support other folks' music because we're under one diaspora, but always remember your roots just like they remember their roots.
That part.
That's right, Fatima.
I had to get it. Come on now. Never trouble no one. Yeah, man. Remember this from Belly? Yeah, this is the part in Belly when they brought in old girl and said, I heard Lennox did the hit on old boy. They said, oh, we got to take care of Lennox.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Listen, if you don't have anything to do and you're not in Louisiana, because it will be Fat Tuesday. Valentine's Day will be, am I right?
Wednesday.
Valentine's Day, Fat Tuesday?
Wednesday.
So it's Ash Wednesday. Actually, the day after Mardi Gras is Valentine's Day. So a lot of folks will be recovering from Mardi Gras. But go see the movie. So I need to go back and revisit something because somebody inboxed me and we are 15 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going for the next 15 minutes, play a little bit more of Club Shay Shay. Monique on Club Shay Shay has outdone the numbers of Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay.
Wow.
Club Shay Shay is getting to be the place. Now, folk are all on social media with their different opinions about Club Shay Shay. You know, some folk like it. Some folks say they don't like it. Everybody's watching it. That's what I say. Some folk like it. Some folk don't like it, but everybody watching it. So we're going to go back and just listen to a few things that Monique said. You know, once again, I got to ask the question, and I'm going to ask it to both my co-hosts, you know, that are on today, because I know, I was trying to get you right, Jax. There we go. Who do you believe, Monique, DL, or both? Because I believe both of them are telling somewhat the truth. I'm a little bit confused about some things, but yeah. So I'm gonna let y'all talk about that, and we're gonna we're gonna cue up Monique right quick.
So one of the things I said yesterday, is one of the hard things is to kind of decipher the truth because they're all passionate. So, we could sit here and try to pick out little things. The first issue that, with DL, when he came on to respond to Sister Monique on Club Shay Shay, is he went and attacked her. And if I wanted to tell my truth, I wouldn't attack the person. I'm going straight for the jugular to tell my truth. That's the first thing. Again, I can't sit here and say who's lying. I said yesterday, and I stand behind it. I know both of them. I know when I use the word no, I don't know them like that, but I've met them. Like I said, DL works for the same company, Reach Media, that me and Reverend Sharpton also work for. Monique, I've met doing this time. She's been on Reverend Sharpton's show. I've met her with my kids, with Isaac Hayes when she was on Isaac Hayes. Reverend Sharpton married her to her husband. He performed her wedding. And so I listened, and when Monique outed a couple of people in the past, and then she taped Tyler Perry saying what Monique has said. Monique talked about being lowballed by Netflix and about the film industry. And then other folks come out, especially Taraji P, and come out and say this. You start to ask the question, is Monique lying? Now, you can like it or not like it. The bottom line, and I say this to anyone that wants to say, well, this is about mess and we should keep it behind closed doors. I say, put it out on Front Street. Jesus said, if you're going to teach the truth, you don't hide it. You put it out in the front so everybody can see the light. You understand? So if people are doing people wrong, like I said, what is done in the dark will surely come to the light. And if Monique is telling the truth, she has a right to talk about it. And those folks that have had their feet on people's necks, your day is up.
Well, I mean, good people do bad things. So, and once again,
no excuse for it.
Here's where I have my problem with the whole situation. Why are we talking about the method that Monique may have acquired the truth when it is the truth? That's what saddens me. If a person says, no, Monique lied, and then Monique said, well, listen to this recording and you tell me what you think. Instead of us saying, wait a minute, no, Monique didn't lie. She told the truth. Question is, why did you lie? No, we go and say, well, she should have never recorded you. Wait a minute. Just because you my friend, just because you're popular, just because you the man or the woman, doesn't mean that once you get caught in a lie, it ain't a lie. And we need to discuss, why did you lie? Why did you lie? That's all I'm saying. What really bothers me is how many people are saying, I don't like how Monique recorded. That was just so wrong. Wait a minute. The methodology may be not to your moral standards, but the methodology came out with the truth. The methodology proved that what Monique said happened, even though Tyler Perry said, oh, no, it didn't happen. And no offense, I ain't against Tyler Perry. I ain't against Monique. But sometimes you got to say, wait a minute. You got to say, wait a minute, what's going on here and what happened? So let's play a little bit of Monique and let us all try to figure out in our own minds what's going on.
And the dignity of what you feel like you look like, then we've lost. So I wasn't backing down on that. It's like, no, y'all, we owe ourselves that. We owe ourselves that.
How hard is it for you to love some in the community when you know they don't love you back?
Hey, Alina from Estimate Mastery here, and I'm popping in to invite you to come to our free Xactimate training that we're having this Thursday, September 21st at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll be talking all of
skip. Yeah.
That's a good one, Shannon. Okay. That's a good one, because sometimes I'll be in the bathroom having conversations with the ones that don't love me back, but I still love them because I just know they're misinformed. We've been conditioned in such a way in our community to eat each other up and spit each other out. We've been conditioned. Well, I don't like her, and I love my people.
But why?
Why do I love my
No,
people?
I'm saying a lot of times for me, Mo, is that I don't take someone's word because you can only judge a person through personal experience.
Yes.
You don't know our audio guy. But to say, oh, Mo, I don't like him. And then for you to say, well, I don't like him either because Shannon didn't like him. You have no personal experience with him. So why would you dislike him? People want us to dislike somebody because they've had a negative experience with that said person.
And we buy into it. We buy into it. Because this one don't like it. And then you say, why don't you like him? This is one thing my husband said to me one time. He said, Mama, there's not a person on the face of this earth that I dislike. I may dislike what they do, but I don't dislike the person. And it took me a minute to understand it because I'm like, I don't like their ass. I don't like what they did. I don't like their ass. I don't like their mama. I don't like none of them. But he said, no, there are things you've done that I dislike, but I don't dislike you.
Right.
And once we can get past that, then we even grow to be better.
Right.
So what you're seeing right now, Shannon, is Mrs. Sydney Hicks, that my husband has set me down and had conversations with me and really taught me how to be a lady. Because people in this business know if you be sideways, baby, you beat that boy over the head with that tray in the cafeteria, right? I will cuss your ass out in ways that they wish I beat him with a tray. And he had to say, Mama.
So, wow.
She said a mouthful. I just discussed this on another podcast because they were talking about love, and I explained to them there's different, from the Greeks, there's 9 different types of love, and agape love is what she's talking about. We can't when you talk about love, it's not about liking a person, it's about loving a person, but you can still dislike their actions. You understand? When that agape love means that you love everyone because that's the humanity in you. But because of people's character and how they behave, we dislike their behavior or we dislike them because they become that embodiment there. So that's right on point. The second point that she said, I just want to make this point, Shauna. Then I don't want to lose my point. Is that what Shannon said is that if your sister doesn't like this guy and you have no interaction with that person, then you tend to dislike that person because because you have a relationship with your sister and she dislikes that person. And what Monique said is so truthful. We buy into that. We buy into this whole lifestyle, and it doesn't mean that we're moving right, but that's how we are and we act as humans. Go ahead, Shauna.
The part that I want to address, because I don't want to go into the Monique and the whole ordeal. One of the points she made, I want to say that I had to personally understand that. Now, I have always said I may not necessarily be a lady, but I'm a woman, right? Because I too will cuss a motherfucker out real quick, no problem. And my brother, a few people in office had to come to me and say, hey, Buffy, because that's what they call me. Hey, Buffy, look, you are now a voice for your people. You're a voice for children. You think they gonna listen to you at 6 feet tall, wearing 4-inch heels, dressed nice, pretty, and cussing? And although I thought they were trying to change me, because that's who I am, I can be that when necessary, but I don't have to be that all the time, nor do I have to be that to get people to hear me. So that part of Monique's comment, I need everyone to understand, because we know people will ignore us because they can't control the tone in which we say it. we then have to realize that if we can't get through the front door how we want to, we have to learn just to change the directions a little bit. I just really needed to say that because people will focus on the messenger and the tone of the messenger, even though the message is 100% true.
Correct.
They will ignore it because they don't like the tone.
And you're right. And because when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan back in 1994 called for the Million Man March, which took place October 16th in 1995, a lot of people was like looking at his message and this, that, and the other. And I'm not his message, I'm sorry, the messenger. And a lot of folks said, well, he's not the one to call this because of the messages that he has put out before. So the messenger, but unfortunately, we as Black people wasn't duped by that. And a lot of Black people, especially in New York today, was headed to work. And when the mayor of New York at the time, racist Mayor Giuliani, said that folks shouldn't go to the Million Man March, people detoured and headed to the turnpike and headed on down to DC. You're right. And this is very interesting. And I'm definitely want to get Jackson, of course, Joe in. This is interesting because I've been around a lot of leadership. And when we're behind closed doors, they use a lot of profanity. But when they're out there, they take the role is that I need to beat our adversaries at their own game. I can show them that I know this King English and I can attack the lies that you're saying and I can beat you at your own game. And that is very powerful. But I also know there was a reverend. His name was Reverend Johnny. His name is Reverend Johnny Ray Youngblood out of Brooklyn, New York. And he cursed in the pulpit. And a lot of people followed him. And matter of fact, when Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan went to Bethany Baptist Church, we had a meeting in the basement. This is for the Million Man March. And when Reverend Johnny Ray Youngblood got up, he said to me, Honorable Minister Farrakhan, you in my borough now, brother. And you know one thing, I don't tell my speech. I say what I gotta say. And Honorable Minister Farrakhan said, I know who you are. And I don't want you to change who you are because the message and how you deliver it, you captivate the people and you make change in the people. You understand? So I get sometimes mixed up. How do we, it depends on who the person is and how they deliver their message and how people perceive that message moving forward if it's dealing with the truth.
Come on, Sister Jax.
Absolutely. And that's you are exactly right. So many times people get caught up with the messenger instead of really listening to the message, but there's still a way that we, especially as women, to, like Monique is saying, her husband had to teach her how to be a lady. And that is so profound because a lot of women don't have that opportunity to have a husband to even help to bring them up like that. Because of course you should be a lady. That's just how it is. But many times we weren't, like Shauna said, she grew up with her brothers. I grew up with my brothers. We weren't always taught how to be a lady. So even with my husband, now, from the time we were friends, he always taught me about being a lady according to God, right? So it's a beautiful thing when you finally meet someone that not just loves you and just cares about you, right? But truly cares for your soul. And that's a different type of love because like my husband says, I want you to make it to heaven one day, right? So that's powerful. Most times in relationships, we don't really talk about things like that. So with my husband saying he wants me to make it to heaven one day, he knows that according to God, there's a role that I have to play as a woman. And I have to try to have that sense of kindness, roll off my tongue. And my delivery has to be different. I can't be as hard and jaded and as abrasive as maybe I was in the past. I have to learn to grow and to be a better woman and to be ladylike. So that's what Monique was saying in that space. And it's very powerful because as women, we have to want to say, I want to see my husband make it to heaven one day as well, if that's what you believe. And then support him in trying to get there, just like we need him to support us in trying to get there as well.
That's what I'm talking about. And Fatim, I really want to switch gears on this. You brought up about the Million Man March, which this is a good place for us to transition at 1 minute past the top of the hour. we had, and I was there. I was there for the Million Man March. I actually made it there for the Million Man March. You know, all us brothers showed up to DC and didn't none of us storm the Capitol.
Right.
I want y'all to think, take a pause and breathe on that. All of us showed up into DC, and not one of us stormed the Capitol. Not one of us tried to incite a riot. Not one of us. Not one of us. If I recall right that day, and I may need to pull the records, I don't think there was any trouble that day.
No trouble. No trouble.
Right.
No
right.
trouble.
I don't think there was any issues that day.
And they had police. They had police underground away from us, ready to roll. But on January 6th, they were undermanned at the Capitol. Isn't that something?
The reason I want to say that is, I just want y'all to think about that. We had 1 million. There was 1 million. The million plus. Hold it. I'm gonna play their game. There was 1 million. Yes, I know there was 1 million plus, but let's just give them the smooth number they want. There was 1 million African American men in Washington, D.C. And we did not storm the Capitol. The reason I bring that up is, if you are watching in the news right now, they are making the Supreme Court decision because the state of Colorado says that Donald Trump shouldn't be on the ballot because of his participation in and it was an insurrection. It wasn't just some folks coming to tour the Capitol. It was an insurrection. Regardless of where you stand or how you feel about that, I just want you to go back and think about 1 million African American men showed up to that Capitol also, and we didn't storm the Capitol. We didn't desecrate the Capitol. We didn't have people of Congress hiding and the Senate hiding in their offices, fearing for their lives. We didn't have the vice president rushed out from the Capitol. We didn't have Secret Service having to confront us with batons and to the point that some folks lost their lives. When the Million Man March showed up to DC, nobody lost their life that day. I just want y'all to think about that. The reason I brought that up is I was here understanding that there is definitely a double standard. Yesterday, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and this ties all in. And a man came up and said, man, I ain't watching the Super Bowl. I ain't with that. And he asked him why. He was on the phone. He was talking to me. He said, hold on for a second. Why you ain't going to watch the Super Bowl? Because Taylor Swift is with Joe Biden. I was like, what that got to do with hell in a ham sandwich? What that got to do with the cost of tea in China? It saddens me how some folk, not all folk, but some folk get caught up in this crazy propaganda, but they ignore the facts. The facts are 1 million black men showed up in DC and we didn't storm the Capitol. Brother Fatim, you there breathing hard. Let's get
it. I'm breathing hard because, you know, their lies are starting to fall. They're just lies are starting to fall. And I've just called a spade, that they're trying to stand up on lies. And as you start to look at everything that they are doing, it's starting to fall apart. It's just started to fall apart. January 6th, that insurrection, you know, it was about stealing the vote. Donald Trump called these folks together. He does have those type of followers, and you know, and I'll say it. Y'all asses that went out there on January 6th, y'all were savages. Y'all went in there. If y'all could have caught the president.
Hold it. Say that again and say it slow. Because watch this. I know some pastors, some preachers, some politicians. I know some local folk from my local area that went there that went there for the Donald Trump rally. What was it called? The Save the Vote? What was it? The Save the Vote rally? I gotta look that up. Go ahead.
So they went to steal the vote, and I called them savages. So you'll probably say, "Oh, there was some good people there," like you just said, Joe. Well, you know what? It's the law of association that you play on us.
That's
We'll play on y'all. Oh, you was there with your friends that robbed the bank, so you was there, so you was guilty as charged as well. So so those folks that stormed the Capitol in January 6th and urinated and defecated, and you want me to sit up here and say, and some of the politicians want to say, oh, it was just a get together. See, this is what I'm saying. They're trying to change our history, but they're also trying to change their story. You understand? Your day of rule is about to be up because it's been built on lie after lie after lie. And it talks about her, and I know Jackson and Shauna could hit this, and you, Joe. It says in Revelations, come out of her, because Babylon is falling.
That's right.
I'm telling you, if you don't come out of her, just like the Senator Scotts and all those black folks, that blacks for Trump, y'all asses are gonna fall as well. You understand?
That's right.
Because the lies that y'all put up, you try to stand on something that there's no foundation to stand on. It's just lies, and now it's being called out. And you also know that as white folks, you're the minority. And since you don't want to speak out as a mass of people of what you have done and the atrocities that you continue to do to people of color, I'm about to say the wrong word. Chickens are coming home to roost.
That's right. That's right.
Slave ships.
And like scripture says, Esau is a cunning hunter. And that's exactly what happened during that insurrection.
It seems inconceivable until you reflected for 200
That part.
Yeah. And my people, I gotta log off for a minute. I'll be back. My mama just hopped in the car. Gotta take it to the doctor.
Take care of that.
All right, as soon as I kick her out, she'll tuck and roll, and I'll hop back on. See y'all in a minute.
You're not even gonna slow down.
I ain't even gonna slow down. Open the door, man. Roll your ass up out of here.
Yeah, like Cadillac Records when my man rolled up on that guy. He stepped out that car as it was rolling.
That's gonna be my mom.
We'll see you later, Jax. All right.
See you later.
Here it goes, y'all.
They see your face, not an 8-track, getting it good to the woods. So the people give you some of that reacting to the facts that I kick in a stick. In a stay around, point to the joint, put the Buddha down. Don't get to the roots, and giving it up. So turn and loose. Then again, I got a story that's harder than a hardcore course of the Holocaust about the what's still going on. I know where from that.
And you know, Joe, as you listening to that, I sit back and I think, and I have, when we come out with these messages, we're not condemning all white folks because we got some good white folks that stand for the cause and believe in righteousness. You understand?
Right.
But when we're talking about white folks, we're talking about it from a perspective of a power position, from a position of manipulation. That's what we're talking about. And when you see in the book or in the movie of Malcolm X, when the white young lady approached Malcolm X, and she seemed very sincere, even from the book perspective, that she asked Malcolm, what can I do to help your cause? And she seemed sincere, but he said nothing. You understand? You got to go back into your community and work against those that are doing the injustices to folks of color and other people because of the racism and other isms out there.
And Brother Fatim, I want to make it crystal clear. My oldest child, my first child, is from a Caucasian woman. So I don't hate anybody because of where they're from, the color of their skin, their religion. I've dated folks who were Jewish. I've dated folks that are Muslim. I've dated folks that are Hindu. I've been all over this world with the military. So I've been engaged with different people from different cultures. We're all human. But with that being said, I wanted to be clear. There are some humans out there that are bad humans. They're bad folks. They're bad people. Some of them look like me and some of them look like the other folks. And historically, in this country, this ain't what I made up. Historically, in this country, in the region I live in, which is called the South, historically, this has been a hotbed of racial inequities, period. It started back in slavery times, and it's still going on right now. There is a divide between Black folks and white folks. I can show it to you. I can right now, I can go down to my city parish government where I used to work. And you can count the number of Caucasian employees, and you can look at their salaries, and you can look at the number of people of color who are employed there and look at their salaries, and you will see a divide, a huge divide. And those are just the facts.
Right.
I have on a jacket right now from what used to be, it's not anymore, but it used to be the largest HBCU in enrollment in the United States of America, the Southern University. I can show you the difference in this state, the funding to Southern in comparison to the funding to the PWIs, and PWIs, predominantly white institutions. Okay, so between Southern and let's say an LSU, the funding is totally different. I can even go between Southern and a Louisiana Tech. It's totally different. I'm in a state, it's Black History Month. I'm in a state with 5 HBCUs, 5. 2 very well known. Southern University and Grambling University, very well known. Also home of Dillard University. Also home of Xavier University. Also home to SUNO, Southern New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you look at the funding to the HBCUs in this state compared to the other funding to the other school, there's grand disparities. If you look at the health inequities in this state, you know, people say, no, y'all talking about racism. Y'all need to stop because that's what happened in the 30s, the 40s, and 50s and 60s. It's not happening today. Bullshit. I can show you the salaries. If right now, I challenge it. Right now, go to your job and just say, if it's possible, go to your job and say, I want to see what the Black folk are making or the people of color compared to what the white folks are making. You'll be surprised how there are some folks doing lesser jobs making more money than they supervisors.
Right.
I say
so
no more.
so the point, and you made I always say Joe makes these points and he goes, I could go down that road, but I don't need to go down that road because you summed that road up. I'm going back to you mentioned about you served and work and associate, and your first child Caucasian, and you know you don't hate no one, you know, and love everyone, and that's cool. There's no problem with that. But we want to quote the Bible. So Joe, I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm asking you a question. I just want you to answer this because I'm going to a point.
Come on, let's go.
Was Jesus sent to save the whole world?
Scripturally, Jesus was here to save the Jews and the Gentiles. And at that time, the Gentiles were considered to be anybody who wasn't Jewish. So I would say Jesus was sent here to save everybody. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this is not about proving you wrong. This is not about seeing your knowledge. You're wrong though on that. Because he says, I wasn't sent to the Gentiles. He was sent to the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel. He came to save them. Jesus did not come to save the Gentiles. He did not come to save the world. He came specifically for the lost tribe of Israel. The point I'm trying to make is that we all are not the same. We all are the part of the human family. And we all try to walk in a righteous way because we don't know. We have faith or we believe, but ain't nobody really can, until we leave here, what's on the other side. You understand? So what I'm saying is we want to put our own isms out there. That's why I tell people to read the book, The Shack. The movie is good. The book is better because the misconceptions In that book, I'm gonna give us something away. When God presented himself in that movie and book, he first presented himself as a black woman. And it was powerful because it shows how we come up with our own mindset along with other preconceptions and misconceptions of what Jesus looked like, what God, and this, that, and the other. So we put on people to say, this is what Jesus came to do. But we want to hold up the Bible. So read the Bible and understand the Bible if we want to quote the Bible and understand that. That doesn't mean because Jesus was only sent to a specific group of people. That's why I said the other day, it says in the Revelation, only 144,000 will be chosen for that new Jerusalem. So it's going to be a small amount of people because we are faulty as people. So I'm just saying, do the best that you can, be the righteous person and stand up, because we as men, humans, have no right to judge other people. But you got to also understand we all are not the same. And I'll get Joe. People that don't experience, if black people are on another side of the country and white people also on the other side of the country, because I said if I dated a white woman, if I did date a white woman, she couldn't come from America because of the racism, because of the isms, because I couldn't do that. It has to be somebody that looks at us from a different perspective and didn't really on a consistent basis experience racism if it's going to be authentic. It's probably
okay. And may I interject?
Oh,
so
please
for those of those who need to know, my oldest son's mother is not American. She's European. Okay. So let me put that out there.
Interesting, right?
Though I will tell you that even when the dynamics when we were together and now when we speak to one another, even with her mother and father, the dynamics of how they looked at me, looked at this country was totally different than an individual who lives in this country. Now, let me say this, and we can agree to disagree. I always ask the question because it was once asked to me in one of the paths I took in life. It was asked to me, do you believe that God created evil? Since they say God created everything, do you believe God created evil? And my response then, until I was enlightened, well, yeah, God created everything. Well, let me ask you this, Fatim. You've lived in New York City. When it gets cold in New York City, you just say it's cold, right? Okay. And when it's dark in New York City, you just say it's dark, right? Because it's dark. It is what it is. You walk outside, it's dark, or it's cold. Those two words describe something that's not there. And so I tell folks, and it was educated, it was taught unto me, and I was enlightened to understand that, where there's not light, there's going to be darkness, because darkness is really a word that says, I'm going to call it darkness because there's no light here. It's cold because it's a lack of heat. It's evil because there's a lack of love, grace, mercy, understanding, the qualities that we associate with a higher power of the architect, of the grand architect, no matter what you call him, God, Allah, or whoever you may call them, that is our creator. No matter where you go on this planet, there are certain things that are common amongst all of us, certain values. They might, and even though in this country it was wrote down as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and it was made a part of a constitution, those values and qualities, though they may not be wrote down in other cultures, they're still there. Just because I say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness doesn't mean somebody right now in Ethiopia don't believe in their life, their freedom, in their pursuit of happiness. Many a times, and this is just my humble opinion, many a times, because of how we have been raised and because of where we live, separation and us being apart in many different ways has been the norm. So we have adopted that, for example, like you said at the beginning of the show, and I agree with that. We got to have a conversation about how Black folks amongst Black folks have their own isms. You too dark, you too light, you not, and at the end of the day, why can't we just, as Rodney King would say, why can't we just all get along? And the reason we can't all get along is because we are flawed and have been flawed for a long time. Long before you and I got these microphones, long before we were even thought about. If you go back generations back to a time of even before this country was a country, people have been flawed. And so what can we do to be better? I wake up every morning saying, what can I learn today? What can I do today to help somebody else who cannot help me? That's my number one. Then number two, I say, what can I do today to make myself better than I was yesterday? Above all of that, that's my number one, my number two. Then my number three is PYP, always Joe, PYP. Play your position, pursue your passion, protect your paper. And there's one more P I got. I forgot what it is. But I always look at it. I can't get up because I got it wrote down on the mirror. But above all that, the first thing I do is I give it up to my Creator. I get on my knees every morning and I say, Lord, I thank you. Sometimes I don't know what to thank him for because I don't feel thankful. I don't feel like today was that day. But I do thank him because I understand at my worst, there's somebody in a graveyard that wish they could be in my position. And at my best, there's somebody out there who's happy that they're not me. So I understand what you're saying, Fatim. And listen, I highly respect it. And once again, I tell people their interpretation of Holy Scripture sometimes make all the difference. That's the difference between quote unquote, and people gonna get mad when I make this comparison. That's the difference between a David Koresh and a T.D. Jakes. Both of them were holding the same book, reading the same book, but their interpretation and how they delivered it to the people made all the difference. And that's where I was at with that. But let us continue. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. So this is a degree of a conversation that will be drilled up. And when it was drilled up, so what you're saying is when it's dark is the absence of light, and when it's cold is the absence of heat. And you are correct there. And now when you do a number line, you go from 0 to the positive side, everything is plus. When you go from 0 to the negative side, it's minus. But -1 and -0 or 100 or -100 honestly are the same. They honestly are the same. What happens is, and this is now, Joe, you're getting into a discussion that probably is over a lot of people's head. And I'll just mention it because I'm not breaking this down today. But studying quantum physics, even it's a new thing. That's why I said you can't separate science and religion. You can't do that because they're one and the same. And if you understand quantum physics, so if you jump off that ledge and fall down to the ground because of gravity, is gravity bad or is it good? It is what it is. So what happens is, to answer that question, since we're in that model of God, and there's another thing, some of us can't understand algebra, but you think you know God.
Right.
See, you don't understand calculus. I brought up quantum physics. A lot of y'all don't know a damn thing about quantum physics. You understand? But you do, but you think you know God. You think you understand that. So to answer your thing in layman's terms, if folks are looking at a figure as a figurehead of God, and you're looking at creation coming from that body, then everything within that bubble of creation has been created from God. We put labels on things because of the interaction or the action and the reaction to certain energy things out there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how we identify with good and bad. You understand? And even the Bible talks about when you slay someone or you commit a sin, those are bad things. Those are actions, energy. This is what I'm saying. You got to understand. So when somebody, because it irks my nerve when somebody say, "Oh man, I got that job. Thank God. Man, I fell down. Man, that ain't nothing but the devil." I hate when people do that.
Right.
Everything bad is from the devil and everything good is from God. See, that's where we play these games with each other because we don't know.
Because we've been programmed. And listen, the Bible says, that book, not only does that book say it, many holy books say, give whoever you claim to be your creator thanks in everything. It says that. Give them thanks in everything. That doesn't, and when it says give thanks, here's what gets me. Doesn't mean, because a lot of folks give thanks verbally, not because they're thankful, they do it as a show.
They do the same thing as when you say good morning. Good morning.
Hold it. Right. They don't do it from a heartfelt place. You know, they do it for a show. You know, some folk that always saying hallelujah and thank you, Jesus, they do it for a show. Listen, I said this last night in a conversation. You know, because of some hard times that I've been through, not only as of late, but throughout my 56 years on this planet, I've had some good days and some bad days. But, you know, when I was around, I think it was 34, 35, I got to look and remember when it was revealed. When it was revealed to me, my humble beginning as a newborn baby, birthed in a back room, mother cut the umbilical cord with an old rusty butcher knife, wrapped me in a newspaper and an old coat, and threw me underneath a house where I stayed for 14 hours. I was riding one day, and no tears had to fall, but God just calmly said to me, after all I brought you through, how can you doubt me? Do you think surviving on June the 22nd, 1967, 14 hours underneath a house in Memphis, Tennessee, where the temperatures that day was 106 degrees, you think you just was there on your own? You think I didn't cover you and my presence wasn't with you? And I said when your death certificate was presented the same day your birth certificate was presented, that I said, no, he shall live. You know, too many times we forget what God has done for us. And because it looked good, it sound good, it gets a lot of click, likes, and shares, we come out here and we put on this show. I don't have to tell God how thankful I am for this morning. I do it because I know that 56 years ago, my first day should have been, under most circumstances, would have been my last day. So everything that precedes me, everything that comes after me is I don't have to see. God has woken me up to say, you keep on saying you want to see a miracle. Damn it, look yourself in the mirror. See, but we have this, what I call commercialized miracles. You know, we do stuff for click, like, share. I have woken up to really realize that in many things I have been completely wrong. I am unlearning every day this crap that was put in me. That's why I told you we got to do a segment called "This Some Bullshit."
So let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that you described what your biological mother did, and you said God let you live, and you're a testament to that, correct?
Right, correct. I believe that with my heart.
So what do you say about God for the one that was thrown under the house that didn't live?
You know, I say what the words say. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Thus is the way of the Lord. I don't know. See, you brought up quantum physics and all this, and the word of God says his thoughts are higher than my thoughts. I don't know why God does what he does. I say that every day. When I ride through my little neighborhood and I see homeless folks, I go, God, what's this about? Why? Why, God?
So that means that we give thanks, but we don't get stuck there. We don't get stuck there because that's what happens. And then sometimes we deify it. We create the deity and we wind up worshiping the deity instead of understanding the action and doing the Lord's work. We deify it.
Right.
You got to sit there and say, and I'm not here to blame the church, but we deify Jesus. If Jesus was here, he would look at you and say, what are y'all doing? Why are you making me into some deity?
Hey, next week, we may dive into this. I said we need to. At the end of the month, we're definitely going to talk about Black men in this Black History Month. But we need to talk about the church. I just need to get some pastors in here because I don't want nobody to feel like we're attacking the church. The church has some very good and great things that is done. And on the other side, there are some things that I don't agree with that I consider bad. But at the end of the day, it's my opinion. I've got to say this, and then everybody throws out that little scripture when you talk about the church is if God's going to strike you down with a lightning bolt when they say, oh, you better not talk about the man of God because, it says don't talk about him or do my prophet no harm. Hold on. That doesn't give you free reign, Donald Trump, to do all kind of malice and then jump up and say I was the president. Doesn't give you free reign to do all this mess and this crap and jump up and say I was the man called of God. I'm the preacher. That's bullshit. And that's what I'm going to call it. Because see, that's why a lot of folk want some things to go and flow the way they wanted to go and flow, because they have been able under the umbrella of I am the president, I am a pastor, I am a community leader, I am a elected official, I am high. That doesn't exempt you from doing things that are wrong. It doesn't exempt you from being a menace to society just because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you in the pulpit going, oh God, but Saturday and Sunday, you out there buying prostitutes. And just because nobody see you buying prostitutes, it's just like I said today, I had my little conniption. 2 or 3 pastors going to text me, email, man, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I will post your text on here and say, this pastor here, we were just cussing with each other 2 nights ago. Now go run and tell that in your pulpit.
But it's amazing that we tend to look at people, like I brought up before, is that we look at people that have have a character flaw versus bad habits.
Come on.
See, a person with bad habits could be a good-hearted person and be a righteous person, but they may curse. They may partake in that woman that maybe they shouldn't take part in, but they are about helping the community. They understand the word and they preach the word. What do they say? Follow what I say, don't follow me. And that's the problem. We put so much faith in man, human beings. We follow them.
It's not the message, it's the messenger.
Right, because if you look in the Bible, God has utilized not the most upright people to bring the message. So I'm not going to sit here at times and criticize some ministers that have bad habits, but don't have character flaws, where there's other people that may not do bad habits, but they have terrible character flaws. They're not about love. Their energy is negative. They're not about helping. They're selfish. You look at the adjectives that describe them. They're not good people. They're backbiting people. So when you start to point out, well, this one do that and that one do that, but where's their heart? See, that's what I'm saying. We tend to judge. So we got to be very careful on this when we start throwing people under the bus, because sometimes we got to see that sometimes we do have bad habits. Some ministers may smoke. You understand? That's a bad habit, but they may be a good person.
Hold on. And once again, you live in the United States of America where folks say you are free to do whatever you want to do, as long as that freedom doesn't infringe on somebody else's freedom, and as long as that's not illegal. Now we go back to the legal thing again. Just because it may be legal or illegal doesn't mean that it is moral. Mm-hmm. See, that's where, listen, family, we have been so caught up in this word soup that they have played on us that we go out here saying words that we don't even understand the full understanding and the full definition of. That's why one thing I loved in Malcolm X, the movie, was when he was in prison, when the brother opened up the dictionary and said, we're going to start here. Learn these words, because these words carry weight in this world. And if you don't know these words and know what these words mean, you will use them completely out of context. Fatim checked everybody and their mama a few times a few days ago on one of the podcasts, and it made sense. He said, hey, wait a minute. We keep on calling this a mistake. But let me ask you something. If you make the same mistake 5 times, when did that mistake all of a sudden stop becoming a mistake and become a choice? See, we use words and then we buy into the meaning of the words. So all of a sudden, you feel like little Johnny is just making mistakes. No, little Johnny is making bad choices. And those bad choices will either lead him to A or B, the graveyard or the penitentiary. In both places, you'll be sitting there instead of looking at little Johnny's behavior, instead of us addressing the behavior that got little Johnny or little Jane here. The first thing we'll address is how the system is set up to mess over little Johnny and little Jane, which needs to be addressed. But there are a lot of root causes because a tree just doesn't have one. See, that's our problem. We try to hit the root that makes our root not look as bad as that root, when a tree has multiple roots. So if we're going to attack it, we got to attack all the roots, because that's the only way you're going to kill the whole tree. Right. That's our mistake. We only kill certain roots. Oh, let's not talk about the behavior of how little Johnny and little Jane was raised up and how social economics played into putting them in the position that they're in. Let's talk about how messed up the system is and the people in the system. Let's talk about police. Yeah, we attack. You can't kill a tree unless you kill all the roots.
Right. Let me just say this, Joe. So you said see, you say so many things that are profound, Joe, and you say it so quick. You know, that's why sometimes we got to slow it down a little bit. You use the phrase word soup. One of the best things that you could say. And word soup basically is you talking about the English language. The English language is a mutt language. What do I mean a mutt language? It's made up of a conglomerate of other languages. You understand? So for all you Bible scholars out there from only the English point of view, y'all don't totally understand the Bible, because first of all, you don't know, when you're breaking down the English, you're giving out meanings that could be Greek, it could be Latin. Jesus is a Latin word. When Jesus was out here, the language at the time was Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic. There was no Latin. There was no Greek. So his name wasn't Jesus. It just wasn't. Christ, another Greek word. He wasn't called Christ. He wasn't called Christ until Antioch. So this is what I'm trying to say, that this English language is a confusing language. Blue. What blue do you mean? The color blue or the blue out the candle? It's a mutt language. So when people are breaking down things, when I started studying, my cousin told me, you have a dictionary, but get an etymology dictionary. Break down the root where it comes from. Understand what a prefix and a suffix. That's how I understood what word prejudice means. Prejudice means to prejudge. Pre means before, judge, prejudice. You judging something before you know it. I'm prejudiced against this black person because blah, blah, blah. But you don't know the person. So that's why I'm saying English is a mutt language. And I know Jax knows this. And Jax, I mentioned earlier, I had asked Joe this, and not, I just want you to hear this. As I asked Joe, was Jesus sent to the whole world? And his response was, he gave his response, and I told him his response, and I quoted the Bible, that Jesus was not sent to the whole world. He was not sent to the Gentiles. He was just sent to the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel. But the point I'm trying to say is communication and understanding the Bible, where preachers don't even understand this language and then try to break down the Bible to us, where the Bible was never written in English. It's been translated numerous times: Greek, Latin, Aramaic, Hebrew. You understand? So if you really want to understand the Bible, you got to go back to the root. You got to go back to the root.
You're absolutely right, Brother Fatim. You're right. I mean, even when we think about the commandments were given unto Moses to deliver them to the, lost tribes of Israel. So you're exactly right, Brother Fatim. But we get so stuck in what we've been taught, and we get caught up in the traditions of man instead of following what the scripture actually says. And then the cycle just perpetuates, and we're doing a lot of things wrong, but once you really start to dig deep into the Bible and take it for what it says, we got to step our game up.
So here's something that Brother Fatim brought up, and I want people to think about this. And he brought up quantum physics and higher numeric equations. Understand, does not it say in that word that God thoughts is higher than our thoughts? His ways are not. See, we try to put God into a box.
Mm-hmm.
How can you box something that is unboxable? I'm just saying. It's not about, you're here thinking, I think it's going to be mind blowing one day when folks say, when something shows up that does not look like us, and all of a sudden we're going to say, well, who God is, who created him?
Mm-hmm.
Or who created that? See, and once again, if this whole universe, because the whole universe was created by God.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, family. You got to understand, there's things we don't even know. So come on, stop trying to put a God that cannot be put in a box. And with that being said, what I'm trying to make the point of, and I don't want to confuse nobody right now because I'm almost confusing myself.
We trying to understand. We only use a small percentage of our brain.
Right. Well, all right. I mean, but that's the truth. I mean, but what I'm trying to say is, when you look at the whole spiritual, let's not be religious, let's be spiritual. As I told Brother Fatim, in this country, some men who are considered great men in this country wrote down life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But people were about their life, their freedom, and their pursuit of happiness long before that was ever wrote down. And sometimes we have to say we are not the originators of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Even though we are in a document, a country that put that as a part of our foundation. We really got to understand that we can't always say, though this is, to me, the greatest country on the planet, we can't neglect other people and their culture, because their culture was way here before we were. We talk about America, but we don't talk about Kemet. We talk about Egypt, but we don't talk about the 19th dynasty or the 17th dynasty. And those were the ones who put in most of the work. Most of the stuff you see from the pyramids and everything else were really done by the darker Egyptians. But then you want to think it's Liz Taylor and whoever else they have playing Ramesses and Cleopatra. We got to wake up, family, and we got to stop hating ourselves. We got into a deep conversation. If you see right here on this screen, there's a different hue. There's me, there's Fatim, there's Sister Jax. And but guess what? We all black folks. We all on any given day will be called the N-word. With nobody even thinking twice about it.
Jack's really black now.
Yeah. She said, I'm blackity black. She said, I went to the black.
You dark out for a minute.
Hey, but what I'm saying is we all have to have this insightful conversation, and we have to learn to love each other where we're at. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Jax is gone and she'll probably be back. We have to learn to love each other where we're at. And we have to understand everybody ain't at your level. Everybody won't be on your level. There are those above you. There are those below you, but you should love and respect everyone. And that's what we need to get to, in my humble opinion, Brother Fatim.
I mean,
at 15 minutes till the top of the hour.
I agree with you, Joe. I mean, it's become cliche-ish though, because when you talk about the word love, I'm just trying to think, what does that mean? I love everybody. We got to get to that point of loving everybody. And I would, and that's why I have to go back and read what Dr. King said about love, because he's broken it down, because he talked about love and he was that example of that kind of love. I try to look back in our time to see the closest example to Jesus You understand? The closest example to Jesus. I'm not saying that King was Jesus. What I'm saying is a man that fought for righteousness, but he was a man, just like Jesus said when he said, my mind is willing, or what is it? My mind is willing, but my heart is weak. No, how did he say this? He said, my flesh is weak.
Willing, but the flesh is weak.
Right. My heart is willing, but my flesh is weak. So that proves that the human side of us, we are faulty. We're always striving to be good and stay good. And that's what the life lessons is. But we put Jesus as walking on water, that he's beyond that. You understand? So I look at Martin Luther King. So when we talk about love, a lot of us have not even experienced what love really is. So when you haven't experienced something, you can't really give it out to folks. You only experience it from your degree. And that's what I'm telling you. I can't, it's easy to say, I love everybody. I don't hate anyone. And that may be true. I can't judge you where your heart is, but it's very hard to dislike someone and love them. And that's what Dr. King said. And y'all try that. Dislike somebody really bad and say, I love them in the same breath. If you can't do that, then you don't really understand what love is.
Right. And see, and once again, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and according to scripture, the Most High says, if you love me, you keep my commandments. And that's telling us exactly what love is. We don't know how to love, but God's saying, you know what? If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And when you keep my commandments, everything else will follow and fall into place. But we're such a haughty people, and we kind of want to go our own way and do our own thing and not be held accountable for anything. We just want to do what feels comfortable. And like I said before, practice the traditions of men rather than practicing what the Most High tells us to do. We rather run the other way and do what's easy than take the time to actually do what's hard, which will get us to heaven. And that's our destination desire.
And that's the real facts of it. Brother Fatim, you said a mouthful. Most folks don't even know what love is, but they're out there trying to love folk. See, they don't even love themselves. And so because they don't understand what love is. Hey, Sister Jax was very big and deep in what she just said. We want to use the scriptures, say the scriptures when the scriptures exonerate us, not when they put us in a position where we need to self-examine and self-correct ourselves. Oh no, then it's the devil. It's the devil. Anytime those scriptures make us look like we a king or queen sitting on a throne, we throw them out there. The word say 2 Corinthians, 1 John, y'all come up with, y'all spit them. But soon as there's a scripture that says, no, you wrong and they right. That's the devil. That's the devil. That's the devil. That's not God. That's not God. So soon as something. So watch this. Here's how I know folk need to really pay attention to religion and get more spiritual. Go read the story of the rich ruler that was with Jesus. Because guess what? There's a lot of folk out here, they will not give up their stuff to roll with Jesus. They want the popularity. They want to perform the miracles. They want to heal folks and raise them from the dead, but they ain't willing to give up their stuff to do that. Because Jesus looked that rich ruler dead in the eye and said, hey man, you want what I got? Get rid of all your stuff and come follow me. You mean the Benz, the Beamer, the Louis, the Gucci? You mean hold up? You mean this big house out here in the burbs? Wait, whoa! I gotta give up all that. Hold up. See, you want what he got, but you ain't willing to pay the price he paid to get it.
And all is saying is, it's nothing wrong with have money and physical possessions. Don't let those physical possessions control you. You control them. So if you had to drop them or lose them, you are able to continue on because they don't control you. But the folks that have a problem giving them up to walk in righteousness or losing them to walk in righteousness, and they have a problem with that, that means they'll be controlled by the physical, and they are not controlling the physical.
And scripture actually says, it says that money is a defense. So the Most High wants us to be able to have money, but still we cannot practice having a love of money. because the love of money is the root of all evil. Money in itself is not evil, you know. So we just have to do the right thing. And when we think about, you know, following God's laws and how people want to, you know, run and do what's comfortable, if you think back to the most fundamental concept and construct of our faith, right? We all grew up going to church for the most part when? On a Sunday. Where in the Bible does it instruct us to go and honor the Sabbath on a Sunday? It clearly says on the Sabbath is on a Saturday on the 7th day. So that's when we're not to buy and sell and work and do all this other stuff. But we still partake of it. But if you tell somebody in church that worships on the Sunday, it goes back to, well, it's more convenient for the people, and you know, Saturday is harder. No, we got to do what God said.
And watch this. I'm gonna hit you with one that was even given to me in a time of my life when I was going through some training and some classes. How do we know we measuring time correctly? I had somebody hit me with that in the middle of class. Hey, we keep on going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. How do we know we measuring time the way God measured time? He said, well, show me where God said, this is how you measure time. He said, once again, we're going by a system that was created by if this flesh is corrupt and it creates anything that it does or anything that it creates has the possibility of having a flaw in it. That's why I tell folks we are constantly evolving. Back to what I wanted to say about Brother Fatim. He brought up gravity. There is something that has existed since the beginning of time, the law of gravity and the law of lift. So tell me something. Why weren't we flying airplanes back in ancient times? Because there wasn't a revelation knowledge given to an individual on how to defy the law that was in place. This thing gets so deep that I tell people, while we over here arguing, fussing, fighting about creation and how it was created and all these different, you can't tell me that this man, listen, if they say the smartest man on this planet is the dumbest man in God's eyes, that means God is one smart cookie. And that means there's so much I don't know. And I'm just here to tell folk, just like I can't understand my own life sometimes, we all must humble ourselves to get to know ourselves, and let's begin to love ourselves, and let's begin to build from that place to be better people. Brother Fatim, I see.
Yeah, so let me so it's amazing that us people on earth are so arrogant. So, you know, we're the center of the universe, you know, and it's interesting you use that, Joe. And and Joe, no, I'm not coming at him because of this, but it's just these are the kind of conversations that I've used to have in my house in my 20s and in my 30s. And I'll be honest with you, I've gotten away from my studies like that. But, you know, we can use the word creation, but everything that is here is already created. It's just the mindset of putting it in motion to develop it. Because why do I say that? Because all the laws that exist. The way the universe is traveled, where stars are born, where stars die, solar systems. Don't you know that galaxies, some people don't even know that galaxies move. Galaxies move. And there's a galaxy is on a collision course for our galaxy. It won't be in our day and time, but they move. Our sun is going to burn out. There's numerous suns. They're bigger planets than us. So for us to think that we're the only thing in this universe, remember, we're in one universe. There's multiple universes. So when you say,
watch out, Dr. Strange.
Yeah. When you look back at the ancient time, the technology wasn't there in a sense of people understanding, but the technology was always there. Because you know why? Because God was always there.
That's right.
Hey, so 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Listen, I really appreciate y'all on this Freedom and Fun Friday. We have to remember it is Mardi Gras in Louisiana. Monday is a national holiday. We're going to come on here Monday, and Monday when we come on here, we're going to be celebrating the whole day. Be exact, we're starting this weekend. We're starting today because Monday is Fatim's birthday. I'm just saying. And the celebration starts right now. Forget Mardi Gras, forget Lundi Gras, forget Valentine's Day. Forget Black History Month. It is Fateen's birthday.
Wow.
And we gonna start the celebration. So Sister Jax, give us some closing words as we get ready to get up out of here.
Closing words, stay focused, be safe, make good, wise decisions. Always go with wisdom first. Wisdom is of God, be of God, and do the right thing. Peace out. Have a dope weekend.
That's what I'm talking about. Brother Fateen.
I tell people to be safe. And since we didn't really dive in, I will reiterate, and we'll see if I'm correct, that the Kansas City Chiefs will beat the San Francisco 49ers in this Super Bowl this Sunday evening, kicking off around 6:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Damn it, I'm not going to let you just walk away like that. Since it's going to be your birthday Monday, that's the two things we're going to talk about. The Super Bowl, who won, and Brother Fateen's birthday. Those two things. That's why I brought myself back on here. So give me that's your closing words, or give me a book. I need a book. You ain't got a book? Give me a book. Oh yeah,
I got a book.
Give me a book.
I got a book. I got a book. Now this is interesting because I'm going to be universal today. Because I don't want people to think because I talk about uplifting Black people and promoting us that I'm anti other people, because I'm not. And I want to leave you with something that we all go through grief. We lose loved ones, and there's jobs and other things that we lose. And this book here, Navigating Grief, is a workbook. And it's basically evidence-based exercises to move you through grief and healing. So I didn't want to bring out a book that just was specifically for Black History Month. You can use this during Black History Month and every month of the year, because we all tend to go through grief. So I decided to break that norm today and bring out this book. This book is by Dr. Anna Darbone. Dr. Anna Darbone, because a lot of us are suffering in silence. We are hurting. We're hurting, and sometimes we don't go get the help for whatever the reason. So that you can go on Amazon, you can order the workbook and start to take the steps to heal, because we have to heal. If you don't heal, you don't have a healthy you, then you can't be healthy to other people.
Amen. Amen. Brother Fateen. Sister Jax, Brother Fateen, Sister Shauna, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Second week of hashtag Truth Be Told. It feels like we've been doing this a long time. It does not feel like it's been 2 weeks. But we're getting ready to go into week 3, Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, Brother Fateen's birthday above all, Valentine's, the weekend before Valentine's Day. Just remember, if you celebrated this weekend, you might know your position. If you celebrated next weekend, you might know your position. I'm just saying, either way it goes, PYP, play your position. As I get ready to get up out of here, always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, when G-O-D, when the man upstairs is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Have a great weekend. Lord, say the same. We'll see you on Monday morning. I don't know if it's going to be the 49ers or the Chiefs. I just know somebody going to win. We up out of here. Peace.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm many days from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. People go around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. And in my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. Now my friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. Now I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't go. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. And in my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do.